I've got you. SYLV. Sylvie. No. Sylvie, wake up. Sylvie, please. Ether, do something. Please. You're going to be okay. Grit. You have to be okay. I need you to be okay. Huff huff. Your beast will live. The scythe from the cavern. I can't even sense her aura, but if she wanted to kill me, she would have done so already. Snap, what is she? The horns must be an important part of the Vritra. Clink. Why would she do that to her ally? Why are you doing this? It was a tough battle, but you managed to defeat Yuto. You kept him alive. But for safety, you pierced his core to ensure he couldn't use his mana. You did this so you could take him back to interrogate him. For whatever reason, this scythe has a personal agenda. I can work with that, as long as it means I won't die today. Would it be too much to ask your name? Saris Vritra. Thank you, Saris Vritra. I won't forget this kindness. Peculiar boy. For both our sakes, get stronger, and fast. Yuto's horns will be an invaluable resource, but only if you can extract the mana stored inside. Oof. I have quite a ways to go, sigh, before I take on another retainer. Let alone a scythe. Arthur. Tess. Arthur, where have you been? Tesha. I've been looking for you. Is my mana so depleted that I'm hallucinating? Still, it would be nice, our lives could be so simple, after the war. Tesha. What makes you think you can have this happiness, that you deserve this happiness? Flinch. Do you think you can just forget what you did to them? Tremble, tremble, just move on. They died because of your choices. They paid the price for your selfishness. Whether you're King Grey or Arthur Lei Win, you can only exist alone. Whether you're King Grey or Arthur. Grey. Arthur. Arthur. You wouldn't wake up. Are you alright? Yes. There were no casualties on my side. The prisoners are being escorted to safety. I executed the traitor. Micah is in custody and will be questioned. I thought you might need me, but I see it was unnecessary. It was a hard battle, but, with Sylvie's help, I was able to defeat him. Yes, you did. I'm glad you both got through this in one piece. We've won. No. This is only the beginning. We've gathered and read through several accounts of what transpired, including one from General Aya. However, I think it's best if we start with Arthur's account of events. Of course. Leaving out that the Scythe Saris defeated Yuto, I told the council everything I knew. They stopped me when they needed clarification or further details. And it became clear there were some doubts about my story. How were you able to defeat not one, but two retainers, when you still haven't reached White Core? Even a more experienced lance was killed before the war even started. Arthur is also a lance. That honor is not for show. I would simply like to know how he came out victorious. With that knowledge, we can better prepare the other lances for future battles against the retainers and scythes. King Glader has a point. The first retainer I fought wasn't as strong as Yuto. And even then, I came away with a broken Azura forged sword. Shift as well as these scars. Yuto could have killed me or Sylvie, but he wanted a worthy battle. He lowered his guard, trying to enrage me. Only then were Sylvie and I able to capitalize on his carelessness and destroy his horns. How did you know destroying the Vritra's horns would affect his ability to fight? I didn't. I doubt even the Azuras knew. Otherwise, they would have told us. But the late Lance Aliyah mentioned. Yuto was furious when she chipped off a fragment of his horn. Still, there's no way. Byron. Please continue, Arthur. After we destroyed his horns, his power diminished significantly, and we barely managed to overpower him. The next thing I remember is General Aya waking me up. Sylvie was beside me, but she's still hospitalized, with no sign of waking up. Thank you. Your account has been noted. Now, what's our next order of business? Our alliance with the dwarves. We were supposed to discuss how to handle the traitors, but our Azura ambassador has gone on a little vacation. Slam. With Radia's in prison and Lord Alder gone, we have no one to lead the dwarves. From General Arthur's reconnaissance in Darv, it's clear multiple factions are assisting the Alacrian army. What if we send forces from Sapin into Darv to oversee the dwarves? A human military presence would only frighten them more. No good can come from enforcing control. Was Radia's capture made public? No, it wasn't. Then why not use that to our advantage? Brilliant. Arthur, remind me to never fight a war against you. We just have to get Radius to reveal how he's been communicating with the factions. Then we'd send our orders as if they were from him. We won't be able to pull away from the Alacrians immediately, but we can at least secure information. Perfect. It's been established I will conduct General Micah's questioning while General Aya handles the Vritra. But Radia's interrogation should take precedence to secure the dwarves' allegiance. All agreed. Good. Now, there's one more matter to settle. In times of war, it's impossible to acknowledge every deed. However, slaying not one, but 2 retainers, as well as eliminating a dangerous traitor calls for a reward of some kind. Thank you, Commander Virion. But I did what I did to help win this war, not for personal reward. General Arthur. What about you? I learned in my past life that in situations like this, it's best to forego the reward. But actually, there is something I'd like. Oh. Very well, let's hear it. I want to be pulled from the field. Lee. It's the ghost of your brother. I've come to haunt you. Irk. Boo. Attack. Good to see you too, buddy. Slobber. A ghost? Sigh. Really? I'm not 5 anymore. Can't say I didn't deserve that. Welcome back, brother. It's good to be back. Great shot. Obviously. So, can you fire with that accuracy when Boo is actually moving? Not yet. Helen made it look so easy. I haven't been able to land a single shot while Boo's running. It doesn't help the klutz runs like he's purposely trying to throw me off his back. Puff. Grr, haha. You do so. How much time do you spend practicing, L? I don't really keep track, but the sun sets while I'm training. So, maybe about 6 or 7 hours. Every day. What about studying? Or playing with your friends? Classes in the castle are only once a week, and I can finish my homework in a day. Heh. As for friends, I'll have you know I'm very popular. Really? Well, it's not my fault I have absolutely no interest in their conversations. Ha ha ha. Who cares if Lord Winchett is visiting the castle? Or Lady Blanc is failing etiquette class? I'm sure there are a few kids your age with an interest in magic. Well, there were a few. Pat pat. But when they awakened, their parents either moved out of the castle or sent them to a magic school. Not many children have the opportunity to be taught by a mage in this castle like my sister. With the ongoing war, parents still want their kids learning to use their new cores in a proper environment. Did you want to attend a magic academy as well? Of course. But I know you, Mom, and Dad would all worry. Ellie's only 12, but her words reflect a maturity I wish she didn't already have. I know what it's like to grow up too fast. Is it so selfish to want Ellie to remain the innocent little girl who got nervous at her birthday party? When I get the chance, I'll talk to Mom and Dad about sending you to school. Really? Assuming they give the okay, I'll still want to send a guard with you in case anything happens. I know it can be stifling to have someone with you at all times, so I'll find someone you'll be comfortable with, but... Thanks, brother. Don't get your hopes too high. Too late. I'm gonna have to practice harder if I want to beat those snooty nobles. It's been nice spending time with Ellie these last few days. With Tesha on another mission and Sylvie still healing, it's been quiet. Arf. I'm an artificer, not an economist. Fwam. You. Let me borrow your God-sent cranium. But I'm neither an artificer nor an economist. So, there's been an increase in attacks between Black Bend and the Wall. And the council wants you to increase protection? Ugh. Yes. Easier said than done. We don't have enough resources to protect every mage and every carriage in the city. What's important enough in Black Bend for it to be under attack? The city is currently responsible for our supply of rations and manufacturing soldiers' weapons. Which is why it's crucial for the supplies to get to the Wall. The Wall is still the front line against the Alacrian army and any stray beasts. Its maintenance and a steady stream of supplies to it is a high priority in this war. If I remember correctly. The terrain around it is mostly flat farmland or clear mountainside. Which would make it hard for carriages carrying supplies to go unnoticed. What if instead of protecting the carriages, we work on optimizing the supply routes? What's cooking in that little brain of yours? Now my God-sent brain is little. What's the current state of the mines where we excavate fuel for our ships? Oh, the combustium mines. There are 5 major sites still being excavated. Combustium. You told me I'd need a mineral capable of fueling the steam engine we designed. You called it coal. We discovered one mineral that can produce enough energy to power an entire ship. Its properties are different from the coal you mentioned, so I named it something else. Anyway, this stuff is amazing. 10 pounds of combustium can power a ship for a dozen miles at full speed. Then I might have an idea. Ooh, using the combustium. What is it? Let me think about it some more. General Arthur. My name is Alanis Emiria. Commander Virion personally assigned me to be your new attendant. Ahem. You must be the esteemed artificer, Gideon. I've heard much about your contributions. Oh, it's no big deal. Just talked with the king about securing supply routes to the Wall. Wasn't that supposed to be a secret? In any case, General Arthur, I'm here to escort you to the training grounds. Your request is ready. I want to be pulled from the field. Just for a couple of months. The war is escalating at a concerning pace. I am the newest, youngest lance. Yet, I have already faced 2 near-death experiences. I don't want to win my next battle due to a lucky break or my opponent's carelessness. I need to train now, before there's no chance to later on. Two months is the most I can offer. Even then, I can't promise you won't be called back to battle if needed. And I'll expect you to take part in council meetings. But how do you plan on training here in the castle? Well, as part 2 of my reward. To expedite my training, I request 4 highly skilled conjurers. Each with a different elemental affinity. Chirp chirp. Next. Cadet Gray. No surname. You may now imbue the sensor with ki using your dominant hand. Ha. All students must have their ki levels recorded before they're ranked. Huff huff. Hey, do you know what the last test will be? We've been tested on our mental acuity, physical strength, and ki. This last test can only be that. My ki may be lacking, but that I'm good at. Hello, everyone. You may refer to me as Instructor Gretch. The last portion of your entry exam will be practical combat. While I will not disclose anyone's ki level, know they all differ. You will not always have the luxury of fighting someone with the same ki level as you. You may be lucky and face an opponent who can barely strengthen their fist. Or you may be unlucky and face an opponent with a much larger ki pool than you. Regardless, you will be judged on your ability to adapt accordingly, and, most importantly, prevail. Snap the entry exam is important for securing a future in this academy. Those who do well will be given resources to further their skills. Those who do poorly will be neglected, and eventually expelled. Now, let's begin. No one is hiding their status or ki level here. They don't need to. The kids with military family crests were likely raised for this, perhaps even as contenders to be king. Clang thud. Match over. Both cadets, return to the group. Up next. Cadet Gray. And Cadet Vlare of House Ambrose. Please step into the arena. Ah, you're here. You already know Princess Kathleen of the Royal Glader House. This is her guardian, Hester Flamesworth. Flamesworth? Ah, so you're familiar with my family. The Flamesworth house was a major contributor to the war against the elves. My family regarded me as lesser. Yes. Fairly familiar, actually. A pleasant surprise to see you again so soon, Kathleen. But what brings you here? I'm here to train you. Well, train with you. My apologies, Princess. That much should have been obvious. Her aura has improved since Cyrus. Something tells me she doesn't really need protection. Commander Virion asked me to help with your training, but my primary job is to keep the princess safe. Having the two of you here in one place achieves both goals, and we thought you could use an accomplished ice affinity conjurer. She's just reached the dark yellow stage, you know. I'll have to step out for occasional training with Master Vari, but other than that, I'm happy to help. The Princess and the Knight. Classic pair. Pleasure to meet you, young general. I am Bundamog Lonuid, but most call me Bund. His hands are very calloused. Grip. Not bad. Not bad. Careful, Bund. The kid didn't become a lance with just a pretty face. Arthur, this musclehead has been a close friend of mine for years. He may look like this, but he's a genius when it comes to Earth affinity magic. What's wrong with my looks? I'm quite the ladies' man back home. Ha ha ha. No one said anything was wrong with your looks. Don't be so sensitive. With silent treachery from countless dwarves. It's obvious Virion introduced him as a friend to demonstrate trust. But if Bund is so close to Virion, why wasn't he selected as the dwarven representative instead of Rodius? I hate to admit it, but meeting a dwarf I've never seen before puts me on edge, blah blah blah. Does that make me racist? Gur tak tak. Arthur, this is Camus Celeridan. The boy doesn't need to know any more than my name. I'm here to spar with him. Someone who's fearless enough to cut off Virion. He must be really brave, or close to Virion. Or both. Though I've never met an elf who took so little care of their appearance or hygiene. Well. I'm sure you'll all get very acquainted over these next several weeks. Miss Watachan and Miss Emiria will be hosting, as I have the pleasure of spending my time with a mountain of paperwork. Clunk clunk. Ahem. There are a few things we need to go over before we start Arthur's training. But first. How many times will we be playing dress up? Perfect. You're looking great. I believe Miss Emiria has one more thing she needs to do. Please stand still for a moment, General Arthur. Scans are complete. Scritch scritch. What scans? I'm sure you've noticed the equipment around the room. It was all specially constructed to aid in Arthur's training. While Arthur excels in most aspects of mana manipulation, he has plateaued in utilization of elemental magic. Absolutely no progress. Oh ho ho. Way behind all other lances. He might as well be just a dual elemental mage. I think they get it, Emily. But didn't you train with the Azuras? That was mainly technical training for augmented close combat. Emily is right. Ivy relied heavily on ice and lightning magic. By training with all of you, I hope to better utilize other elements. I see. Even thinking about using another element gives me a headache, let alone 4 with 2 deviants. Ha! General Arthur's mental capacity isn't as restricted as yours, so I'm sure he'll manage. What did you say, Grandma? My mental capacity is fully unrestricted. Great energy. But instead of arguing, channel your energy here. By infusing the clear crystal with mana, we can power the device and get started. Like this, right? Show off. The apparatus is powering on. I shall go next. Burn. All that fire, but I can't feel a single lick of heat. She has amazing control over her element. My turn. Rumble rumble. Elders, I love the enthusiasm and all, but this wasn't meant to be a contest. To a real man, everything's a contest. Crack crack. Princess Kathleen. If you please, I think just a bit more will be enough. Nod. She's not going to back down. And now. What in the world? We'll explain everything later. For now, why don't we begin the training? How should we start? The way all great training starts, by getting beaten up. Then let's begin. Ugh. Flick. Ha 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 ha. Thud. You need to keep a tighter grip. That ends today's training. Titch. I'm going to beat you one of these days. Hee hee. I'd like to see you try. Ha ha. Head Tesha. A transmission scroll arrived for you. Thank you very much. Oh, it's from Grandpa. Hope you're doing well, I have some castle updates you'll be excited to hear. Arthur has recovered and will be here for the next 2 months for training. He tricked me into that one. He'll be working with some folks you know. Hester, Camus, Bond. And Kathleen. Tripping over your own feet, young general. For someone with so much muscle, I expected more than cheap parlor tricks. I'm not the one who just fell on his arse. Lesson 1 of fighting as a conjurer. Be unpredictable. This is getting annoying. I can't even get close. Tack. Blue flames. Heh. I've never seen Arthur struggle so much. You're enjoying this an awful lot, Miss Waddichan. Truthfully, Miss Emiria. I'm hoping he'll get even more roughed up. You know, for science. It's obvious they all have battle experience, but their attacks feel coordinated. Ha! Got you now. This is the Wonder Boy Lance who Virion gathered all of us to train. Chuck chuck. An impressive and sturdy build. If I'm fighting conjurers, I might as well try to fight like one. Birth pulse. Bund could sense that. Crafty dwarf. Steam's leaking out. Princess, take advantage of the moisture. Nod. Burst. Hello, General. Hey Arthur. That was a close one. Heh. See there, Princess. Nothing to worry about. Har har har. That was impressive, General Arthur, but it seems you're taking us a little too lightly. I agree. If this is all you can do, we'll need a lot more than 2 months to train you. Yawn. It's hard to get motivated when you so obviously hold back. Sorry. I often find myself trying to match my opponent's level to gauge their strength. Pat pat. Bad habit. I won't use this for our main training. But since today's spar serves to get us acquainted, I'll gladly let loose. Ethereal. Radiant. Enthralling. Spread out. I saw this form of Arthur's at Xyrus. But this is my first time seeing it up close. Zoom. Now that's more like it. We had a clear advantage in numbers. But now the tables have turned. This battle feels futile. No. You always do this, Kathleen. Stop doubting yourself. Stop gawking and fight. What happened to my spell? That wasn't me. Why did my spell disperse? Show me more than just changing your hair color. Shum shum. Gladly. Arthur is too fast. But even though I'm closer. He chose to attack Hester. Zoom. Why? He's not attacking you because he's afraid he'll hurt you, Kathleen. General Vari taught me a spell I don't really like to use, but I dislike being pitted even more. Scrap of snow. Oh, that felt so good. The princess sure saved the day. I suspect the young general wasn't even going all out. I'm not able to keep up that form indefinitely, and I was already running out of steam. But yeah, I wasn't expecting you to come at me like some sort of ice ninja, Kathleen. Ice, ninja? Never mind. I shouldn't have underestimated you, that's all. Gather around, everyone. It seems we have much to discuss. It's clear that the biggest concern for everyone, especially General Arthur, is safety. Humph. As if he needs to worry about killing us all. Yes. This won't be an issue for long. I'm working on a device that will trigger a defense mechanism to prevent lethal blows. Oh. An artifact like that could be useful if all our soldiers were equipped with it. It could be, but the artifact uses rare Phoenix WIRM scales. The Gladers gifted a few to us. But still, it would be astronomically expensive. Besides, in training the opponent would stop fighting. On the battlefield, the enemy would strike more than once. Speaking of training devices, what exactly is this get-up for? And the plates on the walls surely aren't just decor. Everything, my friend, from the unappealing armor to the weird plates across the room. Records and measures how you magic the hell out of people. Mwahaha mwahaha. The discs have sensors between them to accurately gauge the impact or force of every spell. I call this measurement the force per unit, or FPU. The glowing chains of mana powered by the mentors connect the discs to one another to gauge FPU when struck. Then say I fire a blast of wind at Elder Bund and he blocks it. Would that spell not be measured? You've quickly discovered a shortcoming. I realized the same thing in the early stages. When sparring, more than half the spells are unreadable or inaccurate, due to being mitigated. That's why I covered the whole room, including below the floor. Each disc sends trails of mana to those surrounding it, and it creates a pressure that can read the force of a spell as soon as it's formed. Okay, so basically covering this room in discs creates an area where mana can be measured. Well, if you want to summarize 6 entire months of work in a sentence, yeah. Believe me, I'm impressed. You've created a technological marvel that'll help mages develop much faster. But what about my armor? It's designed to monitor the flow of mana through an individual, but the discs were an upgraded design for larger groups. However, we want as much info as possible, and the armor complements Miss Amiria's abilities nicely. The armor assists me in making more accurate readings throughout your training. That's a rather vague explanation. If I didn't know any better, I might think you're trying to keep your ability a surprise, just like Emily did with her invention. General Arthur, you asked for specifics of Miss Wadachin's suit, not my ability. If you are curious about my ability, please tell me. Haha. Alright then. Alanis, what is your ability? After making a physical connection with an individual, I utilize nature affinity magic to accurately observe their mana flow. Heh, physical connection indeed. Does that make you a deviant of nature magic? I'm uncertain if the ability is an evolved form of nature magic or a specialized peripheral use of it. Regardless, it has proven useful with the other lances. What does this sensory magic show about General Arthur? Using this device kindly provided by Miss Watachan, I was able to accurately measure General Arthur's rate of mana flow. Manipulation from mana core to extremities measures at roughly 0.46 seconds for body augmentation. For spell casting, there is roughly a 40% increase in time for wind attribute spells. There's a 55% increase for earth attribute spells, as compared to ice and lightning attribute spells. Fire and water magic were not used enough during the session, so no readings could be made. Never thought I'd see such a useless tool. Nonsense. That device can measure how fast you can run on those short stubs you call legs. Why do such a plebeian thing as run when I can have the earth move me, you old witch? Are they friends? Throughout the spar, all the elders showed an uncanny degree of coordination. I don't want to burden Miss Watachan too much about this, so I'll procure some materials myself. It's no problem. Making a few more won't be a strain, as I already have several half-finished prototypes. What's going on? Whoops. A little too close for her. Elder Camus asked if it's possible for Miss Emiria to do readings for multiple people. Oh. Alanis, what were my numbers after I used realm heat, after my hair and eyes changed colors? General Arthur's spellcasting efficiency increased nearly fivefold throughout all spectrums of elements, and... My apologies, General Arthur. I did not record your body augmentation after your change in form. Your body augmentation speed is normally on par with most of the lances.